award to Rina, please welcome dancer and artistic director of the Arzu Dance Theatre, Deepti Gupta.
Namaste. To all of us young Kathak dancers, Rina Singha is fondly known as Rina Didi, elder sister. And I know that although I'm standing here, all of us are joining together in celebration of this moment when our beloved Rina Didi is being honored and recognized as our elder, our pioneer, our mentor, and our guiding light. Thank you, Didi. I first learned about Rina Didi when I was 9 years old, living in Hamilton, Ontario, as a member of a new immigrant family, and I wanted to learn Kathak, not dance in general. Even at 9, I wanted to learn Kathak, knowing very little about it. And my father found out that there was a dancer in Toronto called Rina Singha, and they tried to find out if she would teach me. But Rina Didi replied that she was very busy taking care of her daughter Vinita, whose photograph you just saw, who was deaf. And she was developing methods of training young children with hearing disabilities using dance. Already back then, she was exploring wonderful ways of working with dance beyond what we were aware. So she didn't teach me. But she met me and she said, if you really want to learn this tradition, you will have to go to India and spend many years of dedicated training with a true guru who belongs to a lineage. So I just kept that thought in my heart, and when I was old enough, I took her advice and I went to India. And when I arrived at the National Institute of Dance there, I saw Rina Didi's photographs with the legendary Kathak teachers and with legendary Kathak dancers. And I realized that this humble lady that I sometimes ran into on the Queen Street car in Toronto, so unassuming, was actually carrying within her the grace and history of an incredible legacy and tradition. And I was in complete awe. And then I realized that yes, it would take years and years of training, and I had to be with a guru because it's what she told me I would have to do. So Didi, I want to thank you for giving me that guidance because it changed my life. And when I came back and I began performing here, she was the only one in this country for whom, if I was to dance in front of her, every nuance of every movement had to be executed perfectly, because she would know what it meant. And it would always be a pleasure, because for her, I could truly dance the beauty and the origin of the lineage. For she has held for all of us the essence of that lineage with authenticity, with dedication, and with integrity. And she has taught us also to do the same. Not only by watching and being there, but also by creating a festival for us, the Kathak Mahotsav, in which we get to celebrate this beautiful dance form in all its purity. So Didi, I want to thank you from all of us for bringing this beautiful lineage to Canada, for allowing the next generation to share in this lineage with all of your dedication. And please accept my humble pranam.
Thank you so much. This is really overwhelming a little bit. Thank Dance Canada, Dance Collection, Dance and Miriam. just to be in this illustrious company of people being honored today. I really am very grateful and thankful for that. I thank God for making me a dancer and being able to meet life's challenges and life through a dance prism. I also thank God that I've had the opportunity, very unique opportunity of training under Shamu Maharaji, my guru. It was God ordained, because then I moved to, we trained with very rigorous training, very detailed. Every part of the body was worked out rhythmically, you had to do it. And then I moved to Canada. And when I came here, I was already a professional dancer. And I've been trained in a very sophisticated court style. My guru was in the courts. So it was the sophisticated court style of Kathak, where every nuance meant something, and it was metaphorical, and all the connoisseurs were there. So I come there after being trained to do improvisational work in that, and ready to dance in Canada. And the first performance I did, I realized that nobody understood what I was doing. So here was my goal, after having seen absolute beauty of my guru's work, perfection in all of this, and even in storytelling. He was very great on storytelling. He said, if the idea doesn't reach the audience, then you fail. So you have to touch them through the heart, the way you interpret it. So I was looking at that and saying, here I come and nobody's understanding what I'm doing. But my goal remained, because I'd seen that beauty, and I knew wherever I had set my, eventually that's what I was working towards. So I knew that I had to bridge this gap. My two goals had to change. Not only my personal goals of trying to get at least a little glimpse of what he used to do in my own body, but also to raise the level of the audience understanding, so they'd be able to appreciate what I was doing. So those two twin goals were going on. And as she mentioned, Deepti mentioned about the deaf children, I have done a lot of work in dance and education, but it was as life came at me. It was not that if I put aside my performance for a while, I didn't do it because, for instance, I do a lot of biblical story. I do the Bible through dance because that's the stories that I love. Also, stories about women and stories about life here. And that was not done because I was trying to move away from the classical repertoire, but because that's the way I saw life. Anyway, so here, what else? I wrote things, and I thought I'd be doing. I had 2 minutes, and I didn't end myself, and it was quite different. I'm just so taken with all that's going on. I'm really, really honored. I feel and humbled about this. Anyway, well, I'll just say one more thing. I'm a geographer at heart. Geography is my academic training. But I see regionalism in everything, and it's a given for me. So there's no question of racism. If you come from one part of the region, you cannot be like somebody else. Your culture will be shaped by that. So I was always intrigued by the fact that the same human body is expressing the same human emotions, and yet it comes out so differently because of the cultures. And so I was very interested in the multicultural things here. But then I've been working, as I was creating my works, I think my dear friend Danny Grossman has been helping me. I used to go to see all the dance I could. And the modern company, most of them I didn't understand when I first came. I used to come back and wonder, because the movement system is so different. But Daddy's work I understood because it was always telling a story. I also come from an activist mother background, so we usually understood. And so in time, he's helped me a lot, and Larry Gradis, and then Miriam and Lawrence Adam, who had this theater. And you could go and do an experiment. They were non-judgmental totally, and you could go and experiment. If you had an idea, you could do it. So to them all, I would like to thank everybody. I think I've not said any of this, but I would like to thank